Ioana. George Bakopanos. Am vorbit, eu vorbesc puțin limba română, foarte puțin limba română, înțelegi, dar nu vorbesc foarte bine. În anul trecut fac prezentare în limba engleză, astăzi fac prezentare în limba grecă. Este ok? Super, okay. I will speak in English today, if it's okay for everybody. Thank you, Ioana, for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here. Last year was my first year really doing a presentation, an official presentation to a large group of people. I've done many small presentations, but last year was my first time, and it's given me the desire to do public speaking and to do trainings for customers and for different spas and fitness centers. So I'm very happy to be here because I really enjoy this, and I really hope that you'll enjoy the presentation as well. So should I start? Yes. Okay. So my presentation, I call this "Your sales are defined by your service," and I say this because I put the strong focus on customer service. I don't believe that sales should ever be the main focus of your business. Sales will not bring you good customer service. Good customer service will bring you sales. It's that simple. It really is that simple. So this is the way that I've defined my presentations as of recently, and this is the way I put my focus. I don't have very much time today. It's a very short period of time, so I have only a few slides, and I don't have too much information to give you. I'd be happy to answer any questions after. And after the events, you're more than welcome to call me or send me any emails free of charge to answer any of your questions and to help you if I can give you some free, even some free consulting. It'd be great. Okay, so the big mistake that, in my opinion, that most of the businesses are making these days are putting the drive and the focus towards their sales first, and always focusing on the sales. And from my point of view, the only time that you should be thinking only about your sales and putting 90% of your focus on your sales is when you just open your doors. That should be the only time that you should be putting 100% focus or 90% focus on your sales. Once you're established and you've already opened, you should be putting 90% of your focus on your customer service and 10% of your focus on your sales. Because this is where your sales will come from once you give this great customer service. And especially in this domain, in spas, it's really important. From my point of view, it's important in every business, but in a spa business, it's all about the customer service from the moment the customer enters the door to the moment they leave and how they exit your location. So putting people first means putting your employees first, not your customers, your employees first. So if you put your employees first and you make sure your employees are very satisfied and very happy at their work, this will show when it comes to the customers. They're going to show this enthusiasm to your customers. They're going to be very happy to work where they're working. Because, yes, we all know that salaries are not so great in Romania. Okay? And so no matter what, no matter how much more money you give somebody, that's never going to be enough to motivate them to their job. Because the more money you give them, the more they'll want. The more money we get, the more we spend. The more we spend, the better our lifestyle gets. And then we get to the point where it's never enough. It'll just keep going more and more and more and more. So when you want to have somebody working for you at the reception, which is the first entry point, when your customer comes to that door, the first person they're going to see is going to be the person at the reception desk. No matter what you do, maybe the cleaning lady will happen to be walking by, but otherwise, other than that, that's the person they're going to see first. If that person's not happy, if they're not happy at their job, if they're not satisfied at their job, they're not going to give the best impression to your customer. And the first impression is what counts. And the first impression isn't only the first time they come to your location. The first impression is every time they come to your location through the door, when they walk through the door, at that moment, the first moment they walk in the door. So if you don't make them happy at that moment, your customer is not going to be happy when they get through the rest of the time. So no matter how great your therapist is, and no matter how amazing the treatment is, if I'm in a bad mood when I walk in the door and you don't make me feel better, and I go into that treatment room not feeling very well, it's not going to be the same experience. But if you make me feel great from the moment I walk in that door, and see the first smiling face and someone being genuinely polite to me and actually caring that I'm there. Not just another number, another customer, another 100 lei or 150 lei that came into the door, but actually make me feel like I'm special, like I'm a VIP, like I'm somebody important. When I go into that treatment room, and I have also a super treatment, because this is also, of course, very important. It's because it is what you do. It's the spa. I mean, that's why we go there. We don't go only for the wet areas. The spa generally should have also great treatments. So when I have also great treatment, then you made the journey for me amazing. I started from the beginning. I had a great moment when I first entered. I had a great experience when I left. I left leaving very relaxed and very happy and smiling, and I feel really, really great. And then I tell my friends that I had a really great experience. So the sales should follow. The customers should come basically after your employees is what I want to, let's say the moral of the story is to make sure that your employees are very happy, and if they treat your customers really well, this will increase your sales. I was asked to do some tips and tricks. Last year, were all of you here last year? Show of hands. Who was here last year? So some, great, okay, so we have some new people, because I'm going over some material that I talked about last year. I had a much longer presentation last year. It was about an hour, so I was able to provide more information, but I want to go a little bit now. So tips and tricks. Again, customer service to equal your sales. This is the whole point here. How you can give great customer service and create sales without your customers thinking that you're trying to sell to them. Because that for me is the key. The key is not to, if you just treat me like another number and you just treat me like another sale and another euro sign or lei sign, I'm not going to feel like I'm giving my money. I'm not feeling like I'm actually getting something for my money. You got to earn my money. I work very hard for my money. So if you want my money, then make me believe that it's worth giving it to you. And how can you do this? For me, one way you can do this, one great way that you can do this, is to give great customer service and to get me to keep coming back to your location. So this is what I call the tips and tricks. This is what you certainly shouldn't have at your reception desk. And if you have this at your reception desk, it's a big mistake. No customer should ever feel like this when they want to complain to you. So this is the concept about getting feedback from your customers, getting great feedback from your customers, which is really important. And this is, let's say, something you should write it down, lock it in your head, don't forget about it, write it on your hand, is that feedback for your business is everything. You need your customer feedback. Put it as a priority to get customer feedback from your customers. And I'll go into it in a minute to explain to you how you should be doing that. I'm not talking about a form on the desk with a pen that says, can you please give us your feedback for today? I'm talking about more than that. I'm talking about making it a personalized experience for your customer and how you can turn it also into sales. Can we go to the next slide? Okay, so I have different ways that I present this. Last year I called it undercover, which is what I do call it actually, but I like to change it a little bit this year, and I wanted to tell you about how to turn it around 180 degrees when you're having issues. But let's start first with how you can give great customer service and also get that extra sale that you normally wouldn't have had. How many of you, please, with a show of hands, how many of you call your customer the next day after they've had a treatment and ask them how was their treatment? How many do that? That's bad. It's bad. I should see all the hands going up in the room. So make a note. After my customer had their massage today or their treatment today, the next day, within 24 hours, somebody should be calling in to ask them, how was your massage? How was your treatment? How was Elena? Was it great? Did you enjoy it? Don't call them to try and sell them something. Call them to ask them how their experience was. What can we do better? Did you enjoy it? Is there something else that we can do to please you? Is there something that maybe you can make some comments on? Because that piece of paper that they write and make some comments on the reception desk and just leave it there is not going to help you very much, because people generally won't go out of their way to leave you comments, and generally people won't go out of their way to leave you good comments. People go out of their way to leave you bad comments. Those are important also, and you should take those in and say thank you when somebody gives you negative feedback, because it gives you a chance to fix the problems that you have that you didn't know that you have, and not be aggressive about them. You should be happy that the customers are giving you great feedback. So when somebody has a treatment and they come into your location, and of course you've given them great service from the moment they enter your door to make them feel really, really great, and you give them this treatment, and they leave, yes, you should be trying to book them the moment they're leaving. But not everybody is going to book at exactly that moment because everybody has busy schedules. Not everyone's sure if they're able to book again right away. So when you call them 24 hours later or maximum 48 hours later to ask them how their experience was in your location, your spa or whatever the case it may be, but spa specifically is what we're talking about today. We're talking about people coming in for treatments. and you ask them, how was your experience? And they're going to give you either good or bad comments, let's say. So let's take both sides. Let's take the good side. The good side is they say, wow, yeah, you know what? It was great. I really enjoyed it. Elena was super. I felt super fantastic when I left the place. I was so relaxed and I felt really, really great. And I really enjoyed a lot. Okay, super, great. So when can we book you for your next appointment? With Elena again. Because when somebody says to you, I really had a great experience, they just open the door for you to make the sale, to make the next sale, the follow-up sale. So it gives you the opportunity to book them again. And we know from suggestive sales, which I don't have enough time to go into today about suggestive sales, maybe another time or next year's event. We know with suggestive sales that it works. So if you can suggest something to somebody and suggest something in the right way and tell them about some new great treatment that you have, that you just introduced in the menu that Elena can do for them or somebody else can do for them, and make it sound that great, it's much easier for you to close that next appointment with the customer. So it gives you the chance, by calling them and asking them for their feedback, making them feel good, then taking their money. That's what it basically comes down to. So by giving great customer service, because you're showing your customer you actually care about them, then you can actually make the next sale and you can actually get them to book another appointment. And if they say to you, I'm not sure, then you can go more into the suggestive sales and selling techniques, which I don't have a lot of time to go into today, unfortunately. But I think I hope you get the idea, the concept. Does it make sense, what I'm saying? I hope that it does. Because of the limited time, unfortunately, I can't go into great details. Let's go on the other side. Let's go on the side of negative feedback. Here's your opportunity to potentially have a customer that you just lost and to regain that customer again. So the customer, you call the customer and you say, Mrs. Popescu, how was your treatment yesterday? She says, oh my God, it was horrible. I've never had such a lousy massage in my life. I've never been to a place that I walked in the door, the service was horrible, I didn't enjoy it. Yeah, Mrs. Popescu could just be a difficult customer. This is one possibility. One second possibility is that maybe really you didn't do a good job. Maybe you're not as good as you think you are. Maybe your treatments aren't as good as you think they are. Maybe your customer service isn't as good as you think it is. Or maybe you're just not putting enough focus on your customer service. Maybe you need to be putting more focus on your customer service and forgetting about your P&L for a moment and thinking about where that money in the P&L comes from. Because the money in the P&L doesn't come from the owner. The money from the P&L comes from the customers, which also pays for your staff, which also pays for your rent, which also pays for your utilities, which also pays for everything you have in the space. So without that customer, the P&L means nothing. So you take that opportunity in that moment, the customer says to you, it was horrible. Oh my, I didn't like it at all. This is an extreme case, okay? This is an extreme case. That's your chance to win back that customer. It's your one and only chance, because they didn't complain at the door when they were leaving, they didn't complain to the therapist, or they didn't complain to the receptionist, so you didn't even know that customer didn't have a good experience. She just left saying thank you very much and left, because some people are shy, they don't want to speak out face to face. On the phone, and I think this is the reason why so many people use now also SMSs and WhatsApp and emails, because it's so much easier to scream and yell and talk bad to somebody when you're not looking in their face, right? How much harder is it when you're looking at someone's face to yell and scream at them? It's much easier on an SMS or a WhatsApp or an email. This is the reality, you know. Everybody's shy in their own way, and nobody likes to be the bad guy. Not that bad. Some people enjoy it, but generally we don't. Right? This is a little bit in human psychology. So this is your opportunity to talk to Mrs. Popescu on the phone when she's not feeling shy. She's going to tell you like this in your face. She's going to tell you you're horrible. She's going to tell you you're lousy. She's going to tell you it was a really bad experience, and that's your chance to win her back. That's your chance to win her back, to apologize profusely. This is what you have to do, because this becomes part of the customer service business. So you apologize profusely to Mrs. Popescu, and you offer her another treatment for free to get her to come back to your place again. Because by coming back to your place and giving her that one free treatment, you may be able to make her a customer for life again. You may have the opportunity to bring her back. Because if you don't bring her back, and Mrs. Popescu leaves, and she's upset, and she's somebody like me, who enjoys using Facebook, TripAdvisor, and all these other sites to talk bad when I had a bad experience, because customer service for me is now like my life. I have very high standards, probably too high, but that's just who I am. So when I'm upset and I'm unhappy, I tell all my friends, I tell everybody how bad an experience I had. When I have a really good experience, or when I have a good experience, I tell a few of my friends. When I have a super wow experience, I tell more people, and I definitely will go into TripAdvisor or Facebook or whatever the case. And if you guys, any of you look at my LinkedIn or my Facebook and you look back a little bit, you'll see some really bad stuff that I've posted about Peugeot, about Telecom, about Alpha Bank, where I had really bad experiences, and nobody went to any effort whatsoever to try to make me happy. And that made it even worse. I even really gave it to them, because I gave them the opportunity. I took the first step to give me the opportunity to fix the problem, and they didn't. So that for me was like a double whammy, and I really gave it to them. Really, really gave it to them hard. Because I'm not happy about that, because I'm your customer. I'm giving you my money. Treat me with a little bit of respect. Treat me like you deserve my money, and you should earn my money. Because I'm giving you my hard-earned money. This is it. I mean, who wants to give away their money for free? I'm not a billionaire. If I was a billionaire, maybe I'd be a philanthropist, and maybe I'd just throw my money out to everyone, and I wouldn't care. But I'm not. I work very hard for my money, and I think that most of us do. The majority, 99% of us work hard. So to just give it away for free, for no reason, why would I come back to you a second time? You spanked me the first time. Why would I come back for a second time? I mean, unless I really enjoy being spanked. Otherwise, I don't see the reason to come back to you again. Why not go to the next place? It's not that there's only one spa in all of Romania. Okay, there is some competition now. Maybe not huge competition yet. As competition grows, you're going to feel it more and more, because then the potential for you losing that customer is even greater when you have somebody five doors down from you. Right now, the other guy's maybe 5 kilometers from you or 3 kilometers, so you have a chance to still win them back. And now is the opportunity, when the market's still growing, the market's still small, to create and set your foundation of your space. And people know you, that you have great customer service. And even if you don't have the best treatments from all the spas, I can assure you, from my experience, that if you have better customer service than the guys who have a great treatment and don't have good customer service, your customers will still come to you first, because they're going to feel better for the whole experience, as opposed to just that 1 hour only in the time of the massage. But they're going to feel great from the moment they entered to the moment they left. When they go home, they're going to feel still really, really great, and they're going to remember the whole experience, because it becomes sort of a journey, let's say. So this is can you go back for 1 second? So this is the idea about undercover, and what I'm trying to explain to you about the idea about surprising somebody with a gift, because generally, and with all due respect and no offense, I've been in Romania 10 years now. I know how things are here. I've been here long enough. There's not enough attention put on customer service. I think we all know that. I think it's still an area that needs to be developed a lot more, and it's very rare anyone's ever given me anything for free. So when I get something for free here, I'm really quite surprised and quite happy about it. And for me, it's like, wow. When someone gives him something for free, if they made a mistake, or last year I was talking about the fact that I used to own a restaurant, and when I first came to Romania, I would go to a restaurant, I would eat a meal, it wasn't very good, I would complain. They would say, okay, we'll bring you something else, maybe, I'm sorry. In the end, they would charge me for both meals. Okay, that wasn't really a wow experience for me. That was like an ouch experience for me, So now it's gotten better that, maybe they won't charge me for the first one. For me, a wow experience is they wouldn't charge me for the second meal either. And maybe even buy me a bottle of wine and say, thank you very much for being our customer. Because then I would go back. But if they charge me for both, I'll never go back again, no matter how good the restaurant is. I don't care, because for me, it's still, I have principles. If you give me my money, I expect you to do your job, right? So the free gift is something great. The phone call with the feedback, to ask your customer, how was your experience, is so important. It's so important because you need that feedback. You need to know how your customers feel, if they're happy or not. And it gives you the chance to make another booking for the next time when they call you. Or it gives you the chance to save that customer, that one customer. And unfortunately, I really wish I had 2 hours today to speak, but I don't. Because I would really like to go into the concept again of lifetime customers, since most of you weren't here last year, and unfortunately I'd be very happy, as I said before, if you have any questions even after the event, I'm more than happy to answer them, because I'd like to share this information. I'm very passionate about customer service, and I'd like to share this information. Next slide, because we're running tight on time. Yes. So I'll go through this a little bit quickly. This is you all know what WTF means. I'm not going to say it. All right. So WTF for me, because if this is your customer, here, it's what we talked about before. This was just coming up to this, basically to this slide. If this is your customer's feeling like this, and they go tell their friends, and if there's someone like me, and I can be a very bad person, as great as I am, and as much as I want to love and to help customers, and I love customer service, if you piss me off, I can be quite into the revenge, unfortunately. I'm that passionate about it. So if you piss me off and you don't fix it, I'm going to tell all my friends. That's it. That's the reality. I will tell everybody how bad of an experience I had. So that number, that one person, when you talk about I tell 2 friends, they tell 2 friends, their 2 friends to 2 friends, by the time you get down to if any of you know about multi-level marketing and you know about the pyramid effect, you know that one from me can be 100 people have heard about how lousy your location is just from me, because I'm very vocal about it. And on Facebook and on LinkedIn, I have in total 8,000 connections on Facebook and LinkedIn. And just those 2 sites, I have 8,000 people I'm connected with. It's a lot, and a lot of them are in Romania. So turning it around, the idea is how to turn it around to make it great. And the one very happy person is not going to bring you 100 necessarily. It depends on the person, how vocal they are about their experience. If you make it wow, that number can really grow a lot. If you make it just okay, the number's not going to grow very much. Because when something's okay, we don't talk about it. When something's really great, but super great, we talk about it. When something's really bad, we talk about it. But generally we talk about the bad things, not the good things. So when we have a bad experience, when we're outside and something goes wrong, human nature, unfortunately, is that we're bad people. This is the reality, unfortunately. Even all of us who are good people, we're bad people. So when we have a bad experience, when we tell the story to our friends over a drink or over dinner, we always add salsa. We always make it sound worse than it really was. So we had a small car accident, we tell our friends we almost got killed today in the car. We had a bad experience in a place, we tell our friends, oh my God, you can't believe how horrible it was. That was just the worst experience in my life, even though it wasn't actually that bad. Just because we want to make it more entertaining to our friends. So when we're speaking, we have to make it more interesting and more lively. And when we talk to the people, we just make it sound far more worse than it really, really is. So when it's really, really good, you might talk about it. When it's really, really super great, then you might. So it's about the wow experience. And the wow experience is, like I said to you, for me, going to a restaurant, ordering a meal, having it not so great, having it being replaced is actually okay. Giving me also a bottle of wine, then you just wowed me. You just wowed me, and I'm going to go home and tell everyone what a great place it was. You know what, I didn't have a very good experience, but I left there and wow, they really took care of me. What a great place. They really cared about their customers. This is what it comes down to, and I'll give them my money again. I'll give them my hard-earned money again. So it's how you turn it around, and how you take an experience like that, what I call ouch, because basically you're slapping me in the face when you treat me poorly, and if you ever expect me to come back to your place again, you're just joking yourself, and you're just kidding yourself. Why would I come back to your place and give you my money again the first time when you spanked me? Why would I bother? For what reason? Why? Because you're the best, you're the greatest. So what? There's many businesses out there that are the biggest and the greatest. It doesn't make them the best. At least not for me, it doesn't, because the customer service for me is still really, really important. So it's how to turn that ouch experience, because it's going to happen. No matter what you do, you're never perfect. You're going to have these problems. Something's going to come up, something's going to go wrong. Nobody's 100% perfect all the time. But it's how you deal with the situation. It's how you deal with the customer screaming at you at the reception desk. It's how you deal with it at that moment that's going to define the rest of that customer, and that customer whether being a lifetime customer or not, and whether they're going to bring their friends or not, and whether they're going to talk bad on you on Facebook like me or not. That's the defining moment that you're going to understand when you change it around, and that upset person all of a sudden is very, very happy and leaves the door very, very happy. Makes a big difference. Next slide. This is my last slide. I used this also last year as well too. I love this quote. I think I'll keep it on my presentations till the very last day I ever do consulting. I think it's one slide that I'll probably always keep, no matter what. And I don't know if a lot of you know who Jerry Garcia is. Anybody know who Jerry Garcia is? Grateful Dead? No? I'm not a fan. I'm not a follower. Grateful Dead is a band that from the United States that does really crazy music. I mean, like really, really off the wall crazy. And they do these concerts where it's just, they announce it, it's out in the middle of the desert, in nowhere, with nothing, no water, no toilets, no electricity, nothing. They bring everything there, they set up, they have a band, they have their concerts. 100,000 people show up there driving their cars in the middle of the desert, in the middle of nowhere, to come and see this band. That's how much of a following they have. These guys are like infamous for their following, for their craziness following. It's like Woodstock on a regular basis. Everybody knows what Woodstock was, yes? Everyone's heard of Woodstock? No? Okay. From this, maybe I'm just too old. Maybe this is the problem. Born in the 70s. Okay, I grew up in a different, hippy-dippy, artsy-fartsy time, let's say, when free love and marijuana and concerts in the desert were very, very popular. I was very young then, but this was Woodstock. So, Jerry Garcia, brilliant. I don't know if you can say it. I don't know how else to say it. I mean, there's no other way you can say this, and this applies to every business. Doesn't matter what the business is. We don't just want to be known as the best of the best. We want to be the only ones who do what we do the way we do it. That one sentence for me, it inspires me. It makes my hair stand up every time I say it, because it's what your business should be. It should be if you're a business owner, especially, this is what you should be thinking. This is like, Jerry Garcia should be like your idol in terms of what he's saying. Even as a spa manager, working in a spa, you should still strive to be this. This is where you should be striving to be. Now, whether or not you care that much because maybe you're not the owner, it is a defining moment, and that's also going to define who you are as a manager, and how good you are as a manager, and how much the owner should have you or not. But if you're the owner of that spa or that business, and this is your motto, you'll succeed. This is it. Because you want to be the best of the best. That's it. Nothing. No one's going to stop you. And all I want to do is to. We don't want just to be known as the best of the best. We want to be the only ones who do what we do the way we do it. Thank you.